Welcome to the Home Services Success Stories podcast powered by Peakzi, the #1 AI platform for growing your home services business. And on the show today, we have Joe Voci, who is the owner at JDV Electric. Joe, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Julian. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, excited to dig in and learn more about your story. So Joe, take us back to the beginning. What inspired you to take that leap of faith in 2005 to start JDV Electric with just a truck and a business card?
Sure. So, coming to the end of high school, I never really wanted to pursue college. I always really enjoyed working with my hands. So I knew that the school thing necessarily wasn't for me. So started off in the trades. Electrical looked like the right thing for me. It was either a car mechanic or an electrician, and electrician was definitely the good route that I chose. Worked for somebody for a little period of time, but always wanted to have my own business. And 2005, finally made that leap to go out on my own, and have no regrets. Would do it all over again.
And that was back in 2005. So I know that your father, Joe, had played a very important part in your formation and your journey as an entrepreneur. So how did his support shape both you personally and the business?
Sure. So, family is very important to me, and I think my father, he had his own business growing up. He wasn't an electrician by trade, but he had his own business. And most of my family were, entrepreneurs and were doing their own thing. My grandmother and my uncle both were owned hair salons. So it was kind of natural for me to open my own business at that point. Um, but he's always been my, the one cheering me on that, if you're going to get it accomplished, he could help me get through it. So he's been a strong guiding light for me to help grow the business.
Interesting. So he's been you've had quite a bit of inspiration from family members to start their own business. So it was just kind of like normal for you to sort of want to do your own thing. So I guess before JDV, did you have any side hustles, any small projects, small businesses that you ran before that?
No, not so much. I mean, I would dabble when I was younger. I started the business young, but prior to being 21, I was an avid seller on eBay. So I sold a lot of stuff on eBay. But that was my only little side hustle prior to starting the business.
Gotcha. Well, you've run pretty much every role. In addition to being a hands-on craftsman, you had to learn like all the aspects of the business, right? You've worn every hat, technician, dispatcher, bookkeeper. So what did those experiences teach you about running a successful business?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, in the beginning, you're wearing every hat. I still wear a lot of hats today. I think the main thing is, realizing that you need a team of great people to help build the business, and you just can't do it on your own for a long period of time. It was just me and my father going at it on our own, and we would, struggle, but not realize that we needed the help. And once we started, hiring people that really helped the business get to the next level.
And what would you say were some of those keys to help you get to the next level? You mentioned hiring, so of course, a focus on people. But what else comes to mind? Because you have certainly become a leader in the space, a leader in your market. So, what are some of those keys to success?
Sure. I think I would definitely hired sooner, but also, being able to then train your people. So we had joined a best practice organization back in 2015, and that really had helped get us to the next level. Once I had joined there, really just took everything in on how we kind of operate a business and slowly implemented things, as the years went on. We didn't grow rapidly, but we definitely just took our time, made sure we were on a steady path for continued growth and profitability.
Okay. And was there a particular moment when you realized that JDV Electric was more than just a one-man shop and on its way to becoming a really trusted name?
Yeah, I think it was probably around 2020. We had finally broke the $1 million a year in revenue mark, and that's a pretty big obstacle. I think the percentage is low of small businesses that ever break that $1 million threshold. So At that point, I felt like we really became a good household name in the community and started to develop, an online reputation as the go-to for electrical services.
So definitely revenue. I mean, that is market acceptance of what it is that you're doing, and especially, starting anything from scratch and learning that whole process from being, hands-on craftsman to running the business to marketing, sales, and ops and balancing all that kind of stuff. So I think that's a really great milestone. So one thing also that I found interesting about kind of the way that you see the business is that it seems to be very mission based because you saw problems in the larger contractor world. Some people were cutting corners or overcharging, but how did that shape the mission and the values of JDV Electric?
Sure. So I think with some of the larger contractors, they're very quick to just hire anybody and get them out in the truck and really drive revenue. And although, growing the business and revenue is important, we want to provide a quality product, right? We're going to the homeowners' homes, and that's their treasure. A lot of people, that's their biggest asset that they own. So we want to make sure that we're doing top quality work is our number one priority. And I've seen a lot of these companies, the larger they got, they had lost some of that quality control. So we want to make sure that, through our hiring process, that we have a very good electrician that we're bringing on board and can instill those same values of making sure their work is, top quality work is what we want to provide, and customer service as well.
So real focus on quality work, customer service, and also you said hiring good people. That's for sure probably one of the biggest challenges I think home services has. So can you share a tip about hiring or kind of what you do to ensure that you attract, retain, and grow the best people?
Sure. I mean, it's always a challenge, but we like to put them through like a two-interview process. And we're looking for people that are really hungry, humble, and smart. So that's kind of the three things that we look for. We use some type of testings to test for these things in the applicants to make sure that we're going to get a quality candidate. We don't want to bring somebody in and find out just a couple months down the road they don't work out. We're looking for a long-term team player to join the team. So we really want to vet them the best we can and not just put anybody in a truck in a customer's home.
So it sounds like a real focus on character because you said humble, hungry, and smart. Because with those
Yes.
characteristics, you can really train up a superstar. So I think that's really great. So you've made a shift from running service calls yourself to mentoring and leading your team. Why do you think that has been a significant transition for the growth of your business?
I think that has to happen, right? If we're not trying to grow the business, like I would have never got out of that truck. And, me being able to step out of the truck, it's opening up opportunities for, the guys that I were training that really gives them the opportunity to shine. And sometimes they can do the job better than me. And really that's what we want. I want to train them well enough that they're doing the job better than me. So it really opens up that door of opportunity and grow the company and build the future leaders for the business. So we can, keep on expanding.
So it kind of allowed you to, I guess, step away and work on the business versus in it. So you can kind of see what are the things that you need to do to grow as a leader, support the team to ultimately scale the business, right? So you have spoken to the people, but speak to us a bit about the culture because it often, makes or break the business. So how would you describe the culture at JDV Electric and how do you maintain it as you grow?
Sure. It's always a challenge, but realistically, we treat everybody like family, right? At the end of the day, we want this to be an environment where they enjoy coming to work. Nobody's gonna, if they don't enjoy what they do, nobody's gonna last long in any company. So we try to keep it, fun and engaging, constantly learning and training the guys so they can further their development as well. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to treating people well. And if you treat them well, they'll take care of you as well.
What are some examples of what you do to make things fun and treat people well? Because it can be a grind, it's a hard
Sure.
industry. So tell us about that.
Yeah, we've held some company outings in the past. We took the team out. I think it was like a laser bowling event. So we did some bowling. We have done like outdoor skeet shooting activities for the technicians.
That's cool.
So they really enjoy that. Um, we're looking to plan like a sports outing at like we're based right outside of Philadelphia, so looking to do something at the Philadelphia Phillies, taking the team out to a sporting event. So anything like that really goes a long way. And then obviously, we have some company dinners occasionally, take the team out to eat. It's always a good thing. We hold our monthly meetings where the team has certain KPIs that they could hit, and they can win things at the monthly meetings. So that plays into it as well.
So it sounds like a big focus on experiences together outside of the office, kind of creating a different sort of social dynamic and getting people to open up, and also some interesting rewards from winning prizes and such during the monthly meetings. I think those are great tips. So you're a customer of Peakzi. This podcast is brought to you by Peakzi. So what?
Yes.
How would you explain what Peakzi is to someone who hasn't heard of it before?
That's a good question. So we've been on Peakzi, I think a customer now, probably almost a year coming up. And I think we're still learning about it every day. And I quickly jumped on it because I know it's the AI of the future, right? Like it's changing the landscape of how customers search. And I knew how important that was going to be a year ago and just wanted to get ahead of it. So I know it does a lot more than AI search, but really that was the main focus that had drawn me in. So if any customer is looking for, growing their business and being able to be found, through all these various AI models, the Chat GPT and Gemini, Peaksey's helped position me ahead of the competition in that aspect of it.
Okay. And what would you say have been the most significant results Peaksy's created for your business so far?
That's a good question. We've just seen probably over the last couple of months that we're actually getting customers telling us that they found us on ChatGPT. So that's been very, like, okay, this is working because I don't know how else we're getting there if we don't have Peaksy's help, right? Because I don't think my SEO team is putting efforts into any AI search at this point, but Peaksy's definitely positioned me to win in that aspect.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I didn't quite think about that because, where are people being found? Where are humans searching for information nowadays? And there's, of course, as everyone knows, a huge shift to AI. So how are you being found through AI search? Interesting. Okay, great. So as you approach 20 years in the business, what do you see next for JDV Electric? And what kind of legacy do you want to leave for your community?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. So obviously 20 years in the business, I'm still young. I still have a lot of growth ahead of me. Um, I think once the electrical business maybe hits its capacity, we could either expand that into additional territories or add another trade line of service on, whether it's plumbing or HVAC. So we definitely have a ton of room for growth there. And I think legacy on the community is just, if they can remember that JDV provided household quality service at a fair price and some of the best warranties in the area or industry, is really what I would like to see happen. That we put stickers on people's electrical panels. I'm hoping 20 years from now we're still seeing those stickers on the panel, and homeowners are still calling us.
I think that's a great thing to leave behind and to be remembered as. So Joe, close us out with first off, any other parting words, anything else you want our listeners or viewers to know about the business?
Uh, I think we're still a small company, but we're still growing, and it's kind of a strategic thing as far as growth. Again, we focus on top quality service, so we're not just looking to put anybody in the truck. We want to make sure we're serving our customers at a very high level. Um, that's kind of it.
All right. Well, Joe, tell us where can we connect with you, learn more about you, visit JDV, tell us all that.
Sure. So you can go to jdvelectric.com. That's our main website. Our main phone number is 610-364-5099 if anybody wants to connect. They can also shoot me an email, and that's joe@jdvelectric.com. Also, we have Facebook and Instagram for JDV Electric as well.
Awesome. And we'll make sure to have all that contact information in the show notes. So Joe, it's been really great to get to know you and appreciate you sharing your story on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Julian. Greatly appreciate the opportunity.
And everyone else, thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next time on the next episode of the Home Services Success Stories podcast powered by Peakzi, the #1 AI platform for growing your home services business.